We've stopped in first thing in the morning at WMC Sterling State Park. There's a whole lot of history here. In 1961, Lake Erie was posted as unsafe for swimming. And then in 1977, 17 years later, they lifted a swim ban. I'll tell you though, the sunrise, spectacular. Camera probably didn't do it justice. It is really pretty. I can tell though, especially based on the parking lot size, this place gets busy.
Well, that and like all the pavilions they have down the beach and everything.
They have a dump station on the way out with fresh water. So we might just take some quick showers and then dump and fill on the way out. And we might get into Toledo, Ohio today. There's
one thing I really wanted to do in Toledo, but it's not open today. So if we can keep ourselves busy enough today, maybe tomorrow we'll do that.
No pets on the shore here, but wow. This is Lake Erie, for those wondering. So we got one big plant of some sort over there. I wonder if that had anything to do with the water being unsafe. But this, yeah, it smells like seaweed. This is kind of, there's some actually nuclear power plants over here, which kind of adds up. Nuclear needs a lot of water to stay cool.
It's kind of a lumpy beach and kind of a stinky beach.
Well, it kind of smells seaweedy a little tiny bit.
Push that up.
Somehow it doesn't, I mean, on a really hot day, it would be nice to go out here and swim, but it's not inviting.
Not as inviting as Lake Michigan is.
Lake Michigan?
Or Lake Huron.
Huron is colder though, right? One of them is colder than the other, I think.
Huron is colder. Superior is the coldest. Which
you wouldn't think, because they're kind of they're in the same sort of area, and they're connected to each other, aren't they? Yeah. This is kind of neat though. Huh. They even have dangerous currents out here. Sheesh. On a lake. Quick stop in here to the dump station. We were 84% of the way full on our gray water tank, so topped that off. Took quick showers. I do wish we had a little bit more pressure on our head and a lower flow. Oxygenics, has a really good shower head. For traditional shower heads, it's really good pressure, lower volume. But we have a pretty efficient shower head. I wish it was a little bit lower. Anywho, that's all right. So we're gonna dump our tanks real quick, refill, and then hit the road. Now, it is supposed to be, well, kind of crappy today. So we have a little bit of sprinkles going on right now. Our batteries are at 40%. And apparently we left the fridge on overnight. I figured it would cycle because it hasn't been too warm. It's like 70s right now. Apparently it hasn't been cycling. It's just been on, so for whatever reason, that's been the case. So that killed our battery last night. So we have that back on propane now. 40% without the fridge running, especially without the AC running, because it's pretty comfortable out here. That should be just fine. But yeah, we are only getting like 60 watts of solar in these conditions. We'll see. It might get a little better later on today, but we're showered up, have fresh tanks, empty tanks, and yeah, we'll hit the road. Boy, do I have a little story for you guys. This is kind of nuts. We're here in Toledo, Ohio, and we went in and grabbed some like hair mask stuff for Emma and walked around a little bit about an hour ago. And we've been sort of waiting for a package, this kitty corner. I think it's actually like that way. And you can see this big old lot. Well, we wanted to be sort of out of the way. So we were like, there's nobody over here. We figured this is our safest bet. And of course it's been raining off and on, it is right now. So we were like, okay, whatever, like nobody's gonna care. And my assumption would have been true, except for apparently one guy. We get a guy who, he kind of comes around here about 30 minutes ago now. He comes around here, he's looking, he's saying something loud enough that we can hear him. He then walks on over to our solar panels, says something, he's talking loudly, but we couldn't understand him. There's a reason for that. And then he kind of comes back here, he takes a photo, and then he skedaddles, right? At this time though, we're not really thinking much of it. Like, we'd heard that guy, couldn't understand him, looked at the cameras, couldn't understand him still, and we're like, whatever. But we have some computer work to do, and then we figure, all right, we'll just head on out. Once our package arrives, we'll go pick that up. Weird though, so, well, we're in there, mind our own business, and a police officer pulled up, and she knocks, and she's like, hey, I got a call from Target saying that they are concerned that you might be hooking up to power and water, like utilities. And we're like, what? I'm like, what? Like, I didn't actually know, but you can see there are actually spigots out here. I don't know if they work. I actually wouldn't know how to work these, but if there's a will, there's a way, I guess. Maybe it's just something I don't know about. And I'm like, no, we're not, no. And she's like, oh, okay, well, you look fine, so she just takes off. And in that moment, I'm like, it just comes over me. I'm like, they called the cops on us? So I'm a little hot at this point. And I'm like, really? So I go in and I ask for a manager, and they actually brought a loss prevention person out. And he's like, no, we didn't call the police on you. He's like, what? Like, what's kind of explain the situation. And then turns out a guy came, I think his name's Ray or Roy or Ralph or something like that. And he comes over, he reeks of booze. Like, he reeks of alcohol. Got a Target shirt on. He goes, yeah, I didn't call the police though. He goes, she was already in the parking lot. I'm like, no, the officer said she got a call. And he goes, yeah, I called. He goes, you're not allowed to just park wherever you want. This is private property. I was like, okay, we parked out of the way. Is that a problem? He goes, no. I was like, does anybody else need permission to park here? No. I was like, and if we're a customer of the store, are we allowed to park here? Yes. I was like, so is there any other problem? He's like, no, but you I'm like, we're not even parked by utilities. He goes, yeah, you are. I'm like, okay, which I may have been wrong about. Whatever. But at this point I was like, so you called the police? He goes, yeah, I came out and knocked and nobody answered, which is not true, not even close. And so I'm like fuming. I was like, you know what? We're not getting anywhere, clearly. I was like, I just want to file a complaint. And you should have seen this guy. He's like, you know what, whatever, do what you want, but da-da-da. And then he comes over and he wants to hear the conversation. And I'm sitting here and another manager had also been called over. She's like, no, like, let's separate this. And this guy's like, no, can I ask you about the weather later? He wanted to get her to like listen to his side first. And once I was like, look, I have this all on video. Like, this is not, I'm not making this up. Why would I? And it turns out they also have it on video right there. And I was like, so he could see that we didn't stay overnight or anything. And she's like, well, even if you had, she goes, we don't care generally, unless like you're there for multiple days, you're not moving, or you do hook up to, whatever. And she was so cool. She's like, we're not in the nicest area, but honestly, I've seen your rig, and she liked our escape trailer, which was kind of cool. She's like, what, did you guys make that? Or, great conversation. She kind of saw it, and I'm like, I apologize, like, I'm coming in hot, but like, I cannot believe somebody would call law enforcement on us for parking, like, and this never happened. It was just crazy. So I thought that was the most ridiculous thing. I thought it was worth a share. Right. So I thought it was the most ridiculous thing, and I thought it was worth a share. So either way, though, she said, she was like,
good for me, though. Yeah.
Exactly. She was like, yeah, she goes, don't worry about it. Like, you're all good. And I explained, like, no, we're not staying here by any means. And she's like, no, you're good. And I also explained the alcohol thing. She's like, no, this is a teachable moment. Now, the other interesting thing I learned is Target actually has community outreach. And so, they do all that. I understand being a little bit like, watch them sort of thing. But like, just, again, we have technology. We can check to see when we got here, if we paid, So, boy, but she did say she's gonna take care of it. Like, it's one of those things. So I appreciated that. I really think what it came down to is he likes to drink. I think maybe he has a problem. I don't know, because it's pretty early in the morning still. I guess it's only 11:30 at this point, and we arrived at maybe 9:30, 10. I don't know. I'm making a lot of presumptions here, but based on what I'm seeing and smelling and observing, in general, yeah, that's a little adrenaline there, though. Dude calls the cops on us. What? So, fun fact, no, you guys actually saw, we don't need water. We have made it to Sandusky, Ohio.
Yes.
And we're parked next to some sort of art. They paid 10,000 bucks. It's on the thing. It was a $10,000 piece of art. And we're driving through, and it's weird because we don't see people, but we see cars and where people should be. Their style here is very interesting. We have to, oh, you can actually see an old ad up there. Kind of wish, I don't know why, kind of wish they'd paint on buildings advertisements again. But figure we'll go ahead and walk around here. There's what looks like a courthouse, city hall, all that good stuff. Maybe some old copper up there that is sort of patinaed.
There's a fun building up here on the left we want to show you.
They are very proud of their veterans here. A little memorial set up. Kind of a neat little display.
This is a twofer museum. This is the merry-go-round museum, and it's like the Cedar Point Historical Museum or something like that. And Cedar Point is a large amusement park in the area, also home of the Top Thrill Dragster, which used to be one of the largest roller coasters in the world, along with the Millennium Force. I went there as a kid all the time, and I did ride the dragster.
Wow, what a building. This used to be the U.S. Post Office. Can you imagine that's your post office? What in the world? Talk about a department that had a big budget. Clearly they've sold it. But at a merry-go-round museum, that's something. Now this makes a lot more sense. So this building had opened in 1927, replacing a smaller building. So obviously it's a particular style. It is a historic place as of 1982. And then it did serve as a business center where merchants shipped and received, of course. It also housed local offices where several federal agencies, including Customs and National Weather Service, Armed Forces Recruiting, and the FBI were here. I think we'll just sit here and enjoy some of this great music. Just wait this rain out. It's been 15 minutes and it's only getting worse. We're ill prepared. We might just head back to the trailer. Poop.